Now, the discussions with Charter have gone away for the moment, but they're not necessarily gone away for good. Which would be better for Son when it comes to Sprint? You know, a tie-up with Charter or Comcast or something, or T-Mobile, another carrier?
I mean, in the sort of short to immediate term, you can see the T-Mobile's an obvious thing for them, right? They've got they're both looking at deploying 5G spectrum. They're both looking at trying to fight with the giants. In fact, when you look at market share, I think it's one of the most important things to think, because under the Trump administration, they think they can get approvals that they couldn't get under the Obama administration. And so when you look at the market share of the major phone companies, you see in this chart right here that shows that Verizon and AT&T have well over half the market out there. And for anyone else to compete, Son doesn't want to be number 3. He doesn't want to be number 4, certainly, and T-Mobile's growth is sort of getting him closer and closer to that. He wants to be number 1. Now, whether or not it's good for U.S. consumers to have only 3 major carriers in the country is a whole other thing. It's not his concern. It's not his interest. He's not doing this for the benefit of U.S. consumers. He wants to be number 1 in mobile telephony in the U.S., and they have some really interesting financial issues that are sort of propelling this forward. A lot of debt coming due very soon for Sprint. I need to restructure that. I need to deploy all of the wireless spectrum that they own that they haven't used. T-Mobile also has a lot of spectrum that they want to deploy in 5G as that rolls out in the next few years. Could be a real game changer for all the big companies out there.
Briefly, Cory, people think that it might get done under a new regulatory regime, but we're not there yet. Would it get done? Is it possible?
It's really hard to know how this would be very different. I mean, it is certainly true that the type of people that President Trump has supported, whether it's other candidates he's supported, people in Congress that he's offered his support to, and the regulatory regime. But this notion that really big companies don't hurt consumers is certainly a core conservative value. The notion that competition lowers prices and the competition from smaller companies and lots of companies competing is not one that seems to concern Son at all.